Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Saturday, the 1st of November, 2025. In today's Millwall news, it was match day, and wow, that was disappointing. It was disappointing in the end. If you watched yesterday's Daily Millwall video, I predicted a draw. I predicted a 1-1 draw, so I was quite surprised and quite pleasantly, pleased that we were 2-1 up after taking it to 1-1. To go 2-1 up, and then you think, okay, looks like we're going to win this, doesn't it? Until they pop up in the 90 plus 6 minute and equalise to make it 2-2. Absolutely sickening. Absolutely sickening. So let's have a go at this. This is a match report from millfc.co.uk. Lions held late at Oxford. Mill drew 2-2 at Oxford United in the Sky Bet Championship on Saturday afternoon. Goals from Turno Ballo and Jake Cooper on his 400th appearance for the club. Either side of Cameron Brannigan's late first half effort looked to have won the game for the Lions, but Premslaw Plachetta's effort 6 minutes into the second half stoppage time saw the game end in a share of the spoils. Alex Neil named the same 11 for the trip to the Kassam Stadium, with the only change coming on the bench as Wes Harding replaced Alfie Doughty, who missed out through injury. Brian de Keersmaker was the first to try his luck at Max Crocom's goal early on, but the effort from outside the box was comfortable for the Kiwi. At the other end, meanwhile, the Lions were able to work the ball forward from a free kick, but Turno Ballo scooped his effort over from inside the penalty area. With 11 minutes on the clock, however, the Lions would head themselves literally in front as a long throw bounced in the box before being headed home by Ballo from close range for his first Millwall goal. Gotta say, I was very impressed around about the 7th minute when we were getting pressed quite hard, and the Mill players just managed to keep the ball and get out of it, showing some very good passing and movement. That was around the 7th minute, very good. And regarding the goal, I mean, absolute vindication for being molesters of Jake Cooper. So what happened with the long throw-in from Ryan Lander comes in. Jake Cooper's on the front post. Two of their defenders are on him. They're not they're not interested in the ball. They're just molesting Jake Cooper, and they're on him and they stop him from jumping. But he doesn't get the ball, Jake Cooper, and they obviously not interested in getting the ball, so he missed the ball. So the ball just goes past him, bounces through to Ballo, who was on the back post and who wasn't marked because it's a throw. It's a long throw. It's not that long. Why would we mark him on the back post? That don't make no sense. Absolute vindication for what they do, what teams do all the time, which is molest Jake Cooper when they're set pieces, and they keep getting away with it. We don't get any penalties, we don't get anything, and this time, they come unstuck for doing it, and we ended up scoring, so that was good. Cooper nodded just wide from a corner as the Lions looked to double their advantage, whilst Crocombe had to be alert to tip away a disc. Keersmaker strikers at the midway point of the half approached. Femia's endeavour then allowed him to strike a deflected effort towards goal before the informed winger looked to latch onto a fantastic ball into the box, only for covering defender to slide in and knock the ball behind. Tristan Kramer's looping header falling just the wrong side of the far post from the resulting set piece. Penalty shouts went unnoticed by referee Farah Halam as the ball hit the Oxford hand on the half-hour mark, with Aziz having to withdraw through a knock shortly after. Camille Negley, his replacement. Yes, we have another injury. Every game we get another injury, and we thought, players were starting to come back, and now we are getting players injured again. It may be one injury, maybe two, which is not ideal because we have a game on Tuesday. A tough game. Away at Birmingham. Jack Curry blazed over 5 minutes before half-time break, but in the final minute and a half, Oxford were able to level as he used cut inside and fed Brannigan, who hit a shot from outside the area in off the crossbar, giving Crocombe no chance. Yeah, it was into the top corner, and I think, as you just seen in this match report so far, like they were shooting from here, there, and everywhere, and I think a couple of them went out the ground. So, like, I think everyone's like, okay, let them shoot because they can't shoot for toffee. The balls are going fucking up and over, and it's like they're trying to play rugby or something. But they actually did get one from outside the area into the top corner, right at the end of the first half, which was a sign of things to come. An Oxford snapshot from inside the penalty area nestled in the grasp of Crocombe in the early part of the second half, whilst the chance for the Lions came their way on 53 minutes as Zach Sturge benefited to receive the ball high up the pitch. He crossed for Luke Cundle, but the midfielder failed to sort out his feet and prodded wide. Billy Mitchell and Adomi Maku came on for Derek Mazusaka and Cundle on the hour mark before Casper North deflected strike went just wide of Jamie Cummings' far post with 63 minutes on the clock. Yeah, I should say, after Femi went off, it was basically deflated. We didn't have much going forward after that until Billy Mitchell and Amaku came on, especially Billy Mitchell. You could see instantly the energy. The team was energised. He was running around. He was getting involved. He was getting on the ball, and the whole team was energised. And then we started to go forward again in a meaningful way. 3 minutes later, though, the Lions were back in front as Tristan Cramer's shot was spilled by Cumming and into the path of Cooper, who could make no mistake on his 400th appearance, tapping home from close range to make it 2-1. Yeah, and again, 2-1, 400th appearance. He scores what seemed to be, as we were going on and on through the game, to be the winning goal, and it wasn't the winning goal. A low cross from Ryan Leonard had to be cleared by the Oxford defence as the last 15 minutes got underway, with used substitute Plachetta's hit from inside the box found the car park on 79 minutes. Yes. Leonard's lung-busting run then took him to the edge of the box and a strike at goal, which Cumming tipped wide. However, 6 minutes into stoppage time, Oxford was snatched a draw as Plachetta's hit from the edge of the box went through a crowd of bodies and hit the back of the net. Yeah, here's the thing, we were struggling to defend the corner. It was like pinball, football pinball in the box, heading it, trying to get it out. Eventually do get it out, and then a couple of the players run forward, but then obviously we lose the ball up the pitch. The ball comes back in, gets headed out, or it gets kicked out to the edge of the box. They try to cross it in, it gets deflected to their man who's on the edge of the box, who is unmarked, because the players that went on that little mini break, which I believe was Ballo, Ivanovic, maybe Negley as well, they were all still on the halfway line. They hadn't tracked back, and the guy was free to pick a spot, take a shot, and it went through the crowd and it went into the goal. That was disappointing. There's Cooper scoring his goal. Lovely stuff. The team was as follows: Max Crocombe, Ryan Leonard, Tristan Cramer, Jake Cooper, Zach Sturge, Casper Denor, Derek Mazusako, Femi Aziz, Luke Cundle, Turno Ballo, Mihailo Ivanovic. The subs bench was Caleb Taylor, Billy Mitchell, Camille Negley, Macaulay Langstaff, Adomo Maku, Joe Bryan, Rahis Bangor Williams, Joel Coleman, and Wes Harding. The subs that got made, there was only 4 subs made. I thought there should have been more. Harding came on for Leonard in the 93rd minute. Mitchell came on for Mazusaka in the 60th minute. Negley came on for Aziz in the 34th minute, and Amaku came on for Cundle in the 60th minute. I think, at the end of the game, we should have tried to defend the lead more. Ballo, you're limited to is it 5 subs from 3 occasions now? So I think if it wasn't mentioned in this match report, I don't think, but Leonard had to come off with what seemed to be cramp, but it may be more serious than that. It may be the recurrence of the calf injury that he was out with before. When that sub was made in the 93rd minute, I think you should have made another sub at the same time. Either Ballo off for Bangor Williams, or if you want to go even more defensive, Ivanovic off for Caleb Taylor. Put another defender on there. Play Negley up front in the false nine. You know, we're trying to defend. There's 3 minutes left. You know, you've been forced into bringing Harding on for Leonard. You know, Ballo was busted. You know, he run his guts out. Played very well, but he was gassed. Ivanovic was, he was. I know a lot of fans, really like him. And he's, that they're on him, but he's fucking useless. He can't play up front on his own. He has the ball trapping skills of a brick wall. You kick it up to him, it hits him, and it comes straight back to an Oxford player. Like, you might as well not bother. Like, what is the point? We can't go on like this, especially now. The only goal threat we had, Femi Aziz, he looks to be out injured for a while. Obviously we've got the 2 games this week left to go, and then we've got the international break, so that may be of some help. So we've got 2 games, and then we've got a 2-week break until Portsmouth away on the 22nd. But I mean, we've got to try and scrounge and struggle to try and get through these 2 games coming up now against Birmingham and Preston North End. But you need to have a look at this, and it's not working. He didn't even look like scoring at all today. Ivanovic just and here's the thing, I'm not bothered. I don't care why. I don't care if he's upset. The contract thing. He's homesick again. I don't care. We need a striker that can score goals. And if that ain't you, at least fucking play well. At least hold the ball up. At least win some balls in the air. At least pass it to other Millwall players. Because we need that. Like, we can't. I don't care. We need products. We need final results. We need some output. Like, it's not a fucking charity here. If you're not performing, you need to take a look at yourself while you're sitting on the bench. And the thing is, we don't have that many options off the bench, which is why he's playing. But to be honest, I would try. I don't know. It's probably not good enough at the moment, but you need to look at the free agents that are around. There is that Kimar Roof. He was playing last season for Derby. I don't know how he was playing, but I don't think he scored, so maybe he's not good enough. But I'm sure he can fucking control a ball and then lay it off to another Millwall player. So whatever free agents are out there, bring them in on the contract till January. Like, we need something, because this is not working at all. So there you go. Now let's move on to this from millfc.co.uk. Some more pictures. This is some pictures from the game. Kassam Stadium match action. Millwall drew 2-2 at Oxford United in the Sky Bet Championship on Saturday afternoon. And here are some pictures from that game. There's Ballo scoring his goal. Lovely stuff. Unmarked because, like I said, they were molesting Cooper. And there's Ivanovic there. Totally bypassed him. Missed it all. There's Ballo there. First goal. Lovely jubbly. Fantastic stuff. That was when it was dry. And that's another thing. He started pissing down at the end of the first half. And carried on until most of the second half as well. Yeah, there's the rain. You can see it there. And for their goal as well, it doesn't look good. So I'm not blaming him. But Casper Denor, when their guy shot for their first goal, he turns his back because the shot gets taken, and that never looks good. It looks like you're being a coward and you're hiding from getting kicked in the face with the ball. I mean, mate, you ain't that. You're not that pretty. You know, if you get the ball in the face, don't worry about it. You know, if you break your nose, it might be an improvement. Give you a bit of character. So you know, Femi Aziz seems to have done his hamstring again. So that's the end of that. There's Cooper scoring his goal. Fantastic stuff. That looks like the end, the disappointment at the end. Yikes. So, here's the thing. I don't think I'm as upset as other people with the result, because I thought it was going to be a draw beforehand. Now, here's the thing. In seasons past, this would have been a game that we would have lost. 100%. This is the type of game where we do a Millwall and we lose it. We lose it because they're a team at the bottom, you know, and we're going away. And, you know, and we do well against the teams at the top. But this would have been a game that we probably would have lost. And we didn't lose. And, in fact, we were in the lead. And it ended up being a draw. And we did score 2 goals. Yet again, you know, with a striker that's playing absolutely dog shit. This isn't... There were some mad fucking results in the league today. And we're going to have a look at them right now. So this is the championship results from today and yesterday. There was a game yesterday night. Wrexham 3, Coventry 2. That's Coventry's first defeat of the season. The rest of the results today. West Bromwich Albion 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Leicester 0, Blackburn 2. Norwich 0, Hull 2. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Ipswich 4. Sheffield United 1, Derby 3. Southampton 0, Preston 2. Stoke 5, Bristol City 1. Yes, Stoke 5, Bristol City 1. And there's no red cards here. And none of these are penalties, I don't think. It doesn't look like they're penalties. I think it would say if they were penalties. Watford 3, Middlesbrough 0. Birmingham 4, Portsmouth 0. Well, that's great because we've got to play them next. And Charlton 1, Swansea 1. So let's just go through how mad these results are. So Stoke 5, Bristol 1. So we dropped down to 4th, by the way, but you can see Stoke are here and Bristol are here. We were here, Millwall were 3rd, Bristol were 4th, and Stoke were 5th. So Stoke just beat the team that was above them in the table, and they beat them 5-1. That's how mad this division is. You know, West Brom, they drew 0-0 with the Basket Case Club. That has just been, you know, I think they're just happy that that shit owner's gone now. They know they're going to get relegated, but they're happy, you know, because hopefully the club's going to be run properly now. So West Brom drew 0-0 with them. Ipswich are suddenly up here. You know, a month ago they were down here. Now Ipswich are up here, having won 4-1 today at QPR, who were up here, and after we beat them are now down here. So there's some mad results in this league. You know, Wrexham beat Coventry, presumably playing their dog and duck style of pub football, giving Coventry their first defeat of the season after 13 games. They nearly got to November. Obviously, they played yesterday, but they nearly got to November without losing a game. Like, madness. This league is absolute madness. And, you know, they've got a plus 24 goal difference. They're only 3 points ahead. So what the results have done today, if you can see the top 5 teams, the only team in the top 5 that won is Stoke. Coventry lost, Middlesbrough lost. We drew, so we didn't take advantage of those defeats. Bristol City lost. Preston won. Hull won. Charlton drew, and Ipswich won. And now, if you look, you know, the old top 10's, not top 10, top 7 really, it's kind of squeezed up now. we got 24 points. We're 2 points ahead of Bristol, and Preston and Hull are on the same amount of points, just separated by goal difference. We're level on points with Stoke, but we are, the goal difference is 8. They are on +9, we're on +1. So we're missing out on that. We're 1 point behind Middlesbrough, so we did get a point today, which is, like I said, it's not a bad result. We're still 5 games unbeaten. We had 2 players go off injured today, again, and we still didn't lose the game. And again, this is a team, Oxford, they're fighting for their lives at the bottom. In terms of, they are genuinely in a relegation scrap right now. They know it. They do know it. But, there you go. So while we're here, let's move on. We'll come back to that. So let's move on to this. So southwarknews.co.uk. Millwall boss. It feels like a defeat after last-minute Placheta equaliser secures 2-2 draw for Oxford United. Alex Neil admitted Millwall's 2-2 draw with Oxford United felt like a defeat after Przemysław Placheta scored a last-minute equaliser to rescue a point for the U's. And then they talk about the game, yada yada yada, yada yada, yada yada, Neil thought his side. Alex Neil thought his side deserved all 3 points. It's a bit of a sickener for us because I thought we deserved to win. Football is one of those games that if you don't play well and you don't get a point, you go away quite content in the fact that you've got a point on the board. So let's move on to the next one. But we did more than enough to win that game. We were the more attacking side and we controlled a lot of the game and we started well, and then the elements sort of turned it in the first half. The wind picked up, then the rain picked up, and they penned us in a little bit, but, scored a really good goal. Cut back, Boy puts in a top corner. And the start of the second half was a little bit sluggish. As soon as we made the changes, it gave us a bit of energy and a bit of an impetus in the game. I thought Billy, in particular, was excellent when he came on. We deservedly took the lead based on the match at that point. We looked really, really comfortable in the game, and there were 2 shots from them, I think, in the whole of the second half. And the free kick that the ref gave was really cheap. And I said to him after the game, I watched it back. I didn't think it was a foul. Well, there were 2 phases until the goal, and it's just really unfortunate. And the lad tries to cross it. Dilma gets a touch on it, and they land straight to their lad at the edge of the box, and he puts it in the bottom corner. And we didn't really cover enough of the wide area to get inside them, but it's a good finish. But it feels like a defeat. It does really. So there you go. Again, should have won it, could have won it, didn't win it. Now, why did we not take off Ivanovic or Ballo and bring on another defender? Why did we not go to back 5? Why didn't we do it? Well, here we go. Alex Neil explains why back 5 was not necessary in the dying stages of Mill's 2-2 draw with Oxford United. And this is from, again, southwarknews.co.uk, which the next 2 pieces are from them as well. Obviously, they're the only game in town at the moment. So that's left. Alex Neil explained why I did not think switching to a back 5 in the dying stages of Mill's 2-2 draw with Oxford United would be beneficial as his side sought to preserve a 1-goal lead. The U's, coached by former Mill boss Gary Rowett, had only 2 shots in the second half until late in the injury time when Brannigan had a free kick saved from Placheta and then Placheta scored with practically the last kick of the game. Neil elaborated on why he felt a back 5 was unnecessary. I've gone to a back 5 maybe once or twice this season. I didn't think a back 5 was necessary because I thought we were comfortable in the game. If it was a header, I probably would have maybe should have gone to a back 5, but it wasn't a header and it was at the edge of the box. And a back 5 doesn't actually do anything because you're behind the ball, and then what you end up doing is you end up sinking, and you're just inviting crosses on top of you. And at that point, I don't think it was going to be beneficial for us. There wasn't anything there that got me worried in the fact that they were peppering our box with crosses, and we needed to change that. We got done by a strike at the edge of the box, and there's not much more to it than that. Well, yeah, other than maybe not going to a back five, but you got tired legs in Ballo and Ivanovic. Bangor Williams is there, Langstaff's there. Get some fresh legs on, mate. This is a 3-game week coming up as well. And I mentioned it before in previous videos. I don't know what he's doing, what the idea about this is. He's leaving players on for longer and longer and longer. I don't know if he's trying to get them more match fit because he thinks match fitness is probably going to stop them getting injured. Whether he thinks, the players coming off, that's maybe affecting them and they're getting injured because they're not playing the full game. They're coming off early and then sitting on the bench, and maybe that's not good for them. Or the players that are coming on as subs, maybe they're not warming up properly and they're not getting into the game quickly enough, and that's causing them to be injured or what, I don't know. But he has been leaving players on for longer and longer and longer, and he's been reticent to make changes in terms of fitness and fresh legs and all that kind of thing. And something generally, when he does make the changes, they're either pre-programmed in terms of players coming back from injury. So, Casper and all coming off after a certain amount of 60 minutes, or they wait until the opposition make their changes and then they look to see what they are doing now. Have they changed formation? Are they doing things different? And then they respond with changes. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with the subs. Something's going on. Don't know what it is, but we'll see how that goes. Coming up in the next 2 games. So here we go again from southernnews.co.uk. 2 injuries in a game. 2 more injuries. What is going on? Alex Neil confirms nature of Millwall duo's injuries following 2-2 draw with Oxford United. Alex Neil said Femi Aziz looks to have sustained a hamstring injury in the first half of Millwall's 2-2 draw with Oxford United at the Kassam Stadium, whilst Ryan Leonard suffered a calf injury in injury time. Aziz was withdrawn in the 35th minute with the Lions leading 1-0 after Turner Ballo's first goal on a Millwall shirt. Cameron Brannigan scored, yeah, we know all about that, etc, etc. Leonard pulled up late in injury time, was replaced by Wes Harding. Shortly after, Placheta scored the equaliser to deny the Lions a 5th win in a row. And that's another thing, to win 4 games in a row in this division is incredible. 5 would have been insane. We didn't lose, so we did draw, yeah. Alex Neil was asked after the match by News at Den about Leonard and Aziz. The severity of the injuries, I'm not quite sure, I don't know, but Femi seems to be a hamstring and Lenny seems to be a calf. And we've battled all this season, haven't we, in terms of losing bodies and having to try and find a way to win the next one. It's really disappointing because, Femi's been brilliant for us and Lenny's been excellent for us as well. So, if they're out for any length of time, naturally it makes it difficult to win games now because, if they're fit and available, they play in the team. And the more first-team regulars that you lose, the more difficult it is at this level. And our record at the moment has been very, very good, and we just want to try and give ourselves the best chance of picking up as many points as we can. Yeah, and we lost 2 players to long-term injuries that have played in the Premier League, Will Smallbone and Luongo. And then we lose Coburn, who's, I think he's out to January. Apparently told one of the kids on the Halloween tour that he was one of the players there on Tuesday, I think it was. He apparently told them he's looking to be back for January. So, here we go again. The players get injured, we do well. The players start coming back, and now the players start getting injured again. And this is, we've got the squad that we've got, apart from any free agents, which I don't know if we're going to sign. Are there even any ready available? And, if they do come in, they're not going to be match fit and ready to go either. So if you push them too fast, they're probably going to get injured as well. But the squad is the squad that we've got until January the 1st. So we've got 2 months to go, which is probably going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 more games in November, probably another 6 or 7 in December. So that's another chunk of the season, another quarter of the season, until we can bring any new players in. And then, if once we do bring the players in, they're going to get injured again. They'll get injured. So we just seem to be cursed at the moment. Now, one player who wasn't in the squad was Alfred Doughty. So again, another injury. So there's 3 injuries, 2 from the match, 1 from before the match. So here we go again with the southernnews.co.uk. Mill boss explains why Alfred Doughty missed 2-2 draw with Oxford United. Alfred Doughty is not expected to be out for long, Alex Neil said. The 25-year-old returned from a hamstring injury last month and made an appearance off the bench against Queen's Park Rangers on October the 18th. Doughty played for the under-21s last Tuesday as he built up his match fitness and suffered an ankle injury during the game. Neil does not think it will rule him out for much longer. Well, it's actually a hard one to put a timeline on. It's his ankle. He had a shot the other day in the game that he played in the under-21s, and he just seemed to have stayed on it. But, he literally played the rest of his minutes that he was playing. He went home and it was fine, and they woke up the next morning and it's a little bit swollen. And it's a hard one to put a timeline on. It's not a long-term thing, certainly, but, whether it's a week or whether it's 2 weeks, I'm not quite sure at the moment. So, yeah. Swollen ankle after playing in the game. Fantastic. So there you go. Another injury to add to the list. Now, obviously, a look ahead for the week coming up. Let's go back to this and let's click on that. And here we go. The game's coming up on Tuesday. So obviously we're away at Birmingham on Tuesday night. That's going to be a tough game. Already you can see what the prices are 2s for Birmingham and 4s basically for Millwall. So they seem to be the home favourites for sure. The teams that we're in and around us, how far are we going to slip down if we lose? We can only go down to 7th. So Hull, Preston and Bristol. Who are they playing? Bristol. That's a different game. So Bristol have got Blackburn Rovers at home. Hull, I've got Derby away. And Preston, they're playing Swansea at home on Wednesday. But again, this league is absolutely mental, and you would have no idea. You wouldn't have a clue. If you tried to pick every result here, you'll probably get 2 right. It's insane how this league is going. Ipswich, Watford. Watford just beat Middlesbrough 3-0. Ipswich just beat QPR 4-1. What's going to happen in this game? No one knows. Leicester, Middlesbrough. Leicester going to win that? Maybe, I don't know. Oxford, Stoke. Stoke just fucking smashed... who did they smash? Bristol City 5-1. What are they going to do against Oxford? I don't know. Absolutely mental, But looking down at the table, if the worst comes to the worst, if we do lose again, the worst we can do is drop down to 7th. So, and then obviously we've got a Preston game, and then we've got a couple of weeks during the international break to try and get some players back. So we'll see how that goes. And on that note, thank you for watching, and fuck the foxes in my garden. Thank you very much.